The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Godzilla Media. My name is Ryan McCarthy. I'm one of the hosts. To my right is a man who does not like bad pizza. We got Dustin Henry. Dustin, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. And you are correct. I do not like bad pizza, sir. It's not
All
like
right.
my tolerance for Chinese food is very high, but pizza, I got some standards.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
I think everyone has standards when it comes to pizza. You know,
Yeah.
it's good pizza is great. Bad pizza is just forgettable, and you want to wash it down with either some Mountain Dew or some crab juice.
Ugh, I'll take
Do
a
you have
crab
do you have
juice.
Do you have any pizza? No pizza, only ganache. One of my favorite episodes of The Simpsons
It is a
ever.
classic.
Ever. The twin, and that's when they had the World Trade Center with the Twin Towers.
They did, and I still have that version on DVD, so they are still there.
Yes. So we're gonna get live in just a minute. We're gonna bring in our guests in just a quick moment, but first we got to take care of some business. We got some. We'll remind you about our social media channels, which are right down here below on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. It's at NoCredsREQ, Facebook.com/NoCredsREQ, YouTube.com/@NoCredsREQ. If you're watching live or you're watching on replay, just want to remind you to smash that like button. Smash it responsibly. And yes, I said smirsh, not smash.
I like it.
Yeah, I know, right? On the podcast side, subscribe on a myriad of podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Play, iHeartRadio. Tune in wherever you podcast, rate and review. 5 stars are preferred. That many stars are preferred. And we might even read your review on the air. And engage with the show. This is a listener and watcher engagement show. We want you to engage. And Dustin, I know you've been waiting all week long to hear that sweet, sweet music.
Always.
Sometimes it's not chin music, but it'll do. That's sweet chin music. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
Like sweet chin music gets cut off. So we're going to bring in our special guest tonight. He is the owner, operator, manipulator, CEO, CFO, and COO of Snowman Multimedia, host of the Snowman in the Morning podcast with Cole Johnson, who's also a friend of the show, and also the host of the Brian Snow Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian Snow. Snowman!
Good evening, gentlemen. Great to join you. Dustin, it was great to hear from you this morning during the morning show, and I've been dying to get back on No Credentials Required. Everybody's safe, everyone's settled, and now I get a chance to hang out. Now I get a chance to hang out with you guys. Great to be here.
Yeah, thrilled to have you. And I was enjoying the show this morning and some of the discussions that you got into on there, especially. And it made me realize I have not been to a lot of stadiums or arenas. I got to step my game up here.
Shame on you. So where do you live, man? Where do you live, Dustin?
I live in New York. I live right in Albany, surrounding area. So Ryan and I are close to each other.
Okay. I do have a stadium arena on my bucket list. I do want to experience a game at MSG.
Oh yeah,
I haven't been to MSG either.
I do want to experience. Do want to. Oh, the hell with it! I don't want to experience a game at MSG. I want to call a game at the world's most famous arena.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that would be amazing.
I want to sit courtside, be it for my network or someone else that wants to hire me. I want to call a game at MSG.
Yeah.
Shoot
your
I
shot on the
air. And I forgot to mention this morning on the podcast on your show, Snowman, the New Jersey Devils, New York Rangers, Philadelphia Flyers, and New York Islanders. They will be part of a stadium series at MetLife Stadium in February of 2024, and I want to go.
Read that.
I want to go there.
I read that. I may want to make a trip up there and experience that myself. I did have a chance to see the Blackhawks play at Soldier Field. And that was an experience and a half, considering the fact the day started at 60 degrees temperature-wise. And the next thing you know, by the time face-off happened, there was snow on the ground.
Wow. That's a swing.
We got snowed on at Soldier Field, and the Hawks took care of the Pittsburgh Penguins that game. So I got no complaints whatsoever about that day.
That's a dream day right there.
It is.
That's a once in a lifetime sports opportunity.
It is.
I've seen the Hawks play at Soldier Field. I've seen them play at Old Chicago Stadium before the old barn went bye-bye. I'm not supposed to tell this story, but I'm telling anyway.
Do it.
I snuck away January 1991. I snuck back home to Chicago from Missouri to see a little bitty thing we like to call the NHL All-Star Game.
Ooh.
Why? It was at Old Chicago Stadium.
I remember that All-Star game distinctly because NBC cut away to I think it was Pete Williams doing a press conference at the for the president. It was right before it was like I think it was right as the Gulf War was starting.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right as Desert Storm was kicking off.
Yeah.
They cut away to that. And then they came back, to us, and of course we blew the roof off the joint, screaming our lungs out during the national anthem.
Well,
which is where that tradition started.
Yep, and I was actually there to behold it in September 2011 when I was I stayed an extra night during a chaplain's conference for Hockey Ministries International. I decided to stay an extra night and go to the game and leave Albany on Saturday, and that was an experience and a half.
Yeah, it was. The ultimate experience for me was June of 2015 when I got to see the Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup at home in the United Center, and 200 feet of ice, everyone decked out in red, and I didn't have my voice for a week.
Yeah, we're going to get into some sports talk this evening. We're going to start with Major League Baseball. We are into June. We are 3 months into the season, and we still got some surprises up in the standings. I'm going to look at the standings in just a quick second, but we're going to have our own observations on how the season is going. And Dustin, we've talked about it on the podcast on this show. This is not a sprint.
Yeah,
this is a marathon.
Yeah.
Yep. Tell that to the Texas Rangers.
But, we got some smack talk already. But Snowman, since you're our guest,
yes, sir.
Let you have the floor first. What's your impressions of the Major League Baseball season currently as we go into June? And I'm looking at the standings and I'm seeing the Houston Astros are only 3.5 games back of the Texas Rangers. But what else do you see in Major League Baseball that's kind of caught your attention?
The Yankees are going down. The Astros are on their way back up. And
oh, look at that. Snowman's gone.
Oh,
hey.
Oh man.
So this is how it's going to be, eh? I graciously coined the.
You know how much
I know. I asked for that one. Okay.
This will be a cut. We'll cut this one and we'll cut this one and we'll get.
You have to.
Got to do it.
You have to. You have to.
So anyway, please continue.
In all seriousness, all eyes right now are on the Texas Rangers, and everybody's going, "Oh my God, look at their offense." I have two problems. One, where's their pitching? And two, where's their runners in scoring position hitting? And I'll add a third problem to that. They're not the best team in Texas, because the best team in Texas resides in Houston. And I've said this. I say this about every sports season, and y'all heard me especially say it during the NBA. To be the champs, you have to unseat the champs.
Woo!
And right now, the reigning champions are the Houston Astros, and they're right on the tail of the Texas Rangers. And I will say, once the Astros take the lead in the American League West, which I say will happen around the All-Star break, when they come back, they're going to run away. They're going to run away.
All right.
You know,
Dustin, go ahead, Dustin.
I don't think you're too far off with that assessment. Now, I haven't been following. I've pretty much followed the Yankees, and I follow some other teams because I play fantasy baseball with mixed
Which explains
results.
why Ryan cut me out when I said what I said about the Yankees. But I stated that.
But I will say, I think I agree.
Which is something I get from my children and my wife all the time. All right.
You're used to this.
Yeah.
I'm a proud husband, a proud papa, and a proud grandpapa. I get it all the time, and I don't care. I love every minute of it.
I will say, though, I think I agree with you because the Rangers' offense is hot right now. But to your point, DeGrom, you never know if he can stay healthy for the entire season. He's already gone on the shelf, and they don't really have that second ace. There has been some improvement with John Gray, one of their other signings from the offseason.
Who?
He has supposedly learned a new pitch, but he's not the caliber of pitcher that they need. And Houston is starting to wake up. They started out the season a little slow, but Jose Altuve is back now. They're starting to wake up, and call me old school, but I just like Dusty Baker. He may not know how to run a bullpen. He may run their arms into the ground, but he figures out ways to win games. Dusty Baker's a veteran manager. He knows how to steady the team. He knows what he's doing. So I think they're always going to be in the mix. Your point about them being the champions, it's true. That offense, we knew it was going to wake up at some point. The other observation is I have to do it a little bit, but the Yankees, I was watching that series with the Dodgers very closely because the Dodgers are another great team. And they're kind of like a measuring stick. And in my opinion, the Yankees did what they needed to do to them.
They did
to show that they are a team to be reckoned with. But baseball's a season of peaks and valleys, and I am a little worried about that Red Sox offense. It's looking pretty good, despite the fact of our favorite graphic here and our favorite PSA on the show. But I mean, the offense is looking pretty good. But I will say,
play it.
Hold on. Let me have Dustin finish this point first. Then I'll play.
Chris Sale looks like I saw that he left the game injured again. Yeah,
again.
It's unbelievable.
And you wonder why my White Sox cut him loose.
Yeah.
They knew it was.
I will say this: if there is a wildest of wild cards, given the fact that they swept Detroit yesterday and everybody's telling me, oh, they won't do anything, watch the Chicago White Sox offense take shape.
I think they've got some pieces to do that as well. I hate to be just agreeing with you, but I think they could catch fire. But did you happen to see the way that they won? I think it was on Saturday or Sunday against Detroit. They won
a
walk-off
hit by pitch, hit by umpire.
Yeah.
Hitting it. The two best ways to walk off, a wild pitch that hit an umpire in the 10th inning on Saturday, and then Jake Berger just killed a pitch yesterday for a walk-off slam. If that I think those wins, that sweep of the Detroit Tigers is going to wake them up. Yeah. I really believe that's going to wake them up.
Yeah, it could. And I mean, to quote the old Mariners announcer Dave Niehaus, get out the rye bread and mustard, Grandma. It's Grand Slammy time.
Yep. The late, great Dave Niehaus. And I had a chance to use that phrase a couple of times when I was doing college softball a couple of years ago. And I mean, on the pitches that I used that phrase, there were no doubters.
Oh, man.
I mean, they hit him so far that the fielders just turned and looked while the girls were circling the bases. And what made it so fun, when I used the phrase, a parent had cut the highlight and played it for me.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's awesome.
And they say, "Where'd you get this from?" Think Seattle Mariners. Mm-hmm. Next day, she researches, looks up, comes to me in the booth while I'm busy stuffing my face with food, and she puts her arm around me and she says, "Does the name Dave Niehaus mean anything to you?" I'm grinning from ear to ear. So I finally had a chance to use that phrase on a live broadcast.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And I had to wait so long for someone to hit a slam to do it.
Yeah. I'm judging from the standings that right now the best division in baseball is the AL Beast, American League Beast.
Yes.
Every team is at 500 or above
or
500,
better.
which is unheard of. It's unheard of. It's crazy. I mean, you got Tampa Bay up top, 43-19. Baltimore, who knows? Surprises of surprises. Baltimore.
Yep.
4.5 games back. Yankees are 2 games back of Baltimore. Then Toronto, and then the Boston Red Sox. But as
please
Dustin
play
said,
that. Please play that.
Okay. Sorry.
Please play that PSA.
The last place Boston Red Sox, and this is for all you Boston fans out there.
The following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
That's right, Boston. Sit down. Last place.
I tell you what, besides Baltimore and Tampa Bay, the team you need to watch in the American League East that could really catch fire once they get healthy is Toronto.
That's true.
That's the
one team I'm afraid of.
The one team every team in the AL Beast should be afraid of is the Toronto Blue Jays. Because the two things holding them back right now, a rash of injuries and a rash of absences on the pitching staff. Right. By the time the All-Star break gets here, Toronto could be in a position to make a serious run at the top of the East. Because Tampa Bay has slowed down. Baltimore is starting to slow down, even though they're 15 games above 500. The scariest team in that division is Toronto, is the Blue Jays. Mm-hmm. Because they got a young core that knows how to hit. They know how to hit in scoring position. Thank you, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette for that. And plus, I said it about Houston. I said it about the White Sox. And I will say this about Toronto. They're starting to get healthy right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a perfect timing. But I continue, and I don't follow the Blue Jays as closely as I should, being that they're in the division. But I continue to wonder what happened to Jose Barrios. He just can't put a consistent run together. And he's got all world stuff. You know, I was shocked when the Twins let him go a few years ago. But
I was surprised. I was surprised too, because it was kind of like at the end of his run for Minnesota, and Toronto made that deal to get him, and he had a good stretch to help get Toronto into the playoffs. But since then, it's been nothing. Yeah. And I can figure two reasons why Barrios hasn't done that much for Toronto. Number one, he's lost a lot of zip on his fastball. He's lost a ton of zip on his fastball. Chris Sale, hello. Yeah. The second thing, he's got no more off-speed stuff because everything he throws off speed has flattened. His curveball, his slider, he messed with the knuckleball for a while, but he couldn't he couldn't stop it from being flat. And if you point back 2 years ago to 2021, before he left and got with the Twins, there was a game against the White Sox where he pitched the entire game, but unfortunately gave up a walk-off home run. That stopped him.
Yeah.
That has stopped Berrios from being the pitcher that he needs to be with Toronto. And the other thing, since that time, he's lost his confidence.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing you need as a pitcher. Yep. You need confidence.
He's not only lost his pitches, he's lost his confidence.
Yeah,
because Mariano Rivera had 4 different pitches and only one, and he only needed one to get him through 20 years.
Yeah,
and that, of course, is that cutter that moves all over the place.
And the fact of the matter that he discovered on accident is a crazier story than we all think.
Yes, it's a stupidly crazy story.
I discovered that pitch on accident.
Yeah.
It worked. It worked for 20 years.
It worked for 20 years. He's the best reliever of all time, and that the one pitch that got him by for 20 years. All right, and he accidentally discovered that pitch the same way the late great Dan Quisenberry discovered his style, his submarine style. Yep. I forgot the way he quoted it. I made a style out of my flaw. I made a pitching style out of my flaw. That's Dan Quisenberry.
Yeah. Now let's turn to the National League, gentlemen. It's funny that I'm looking at the standings. I'm seeing St. Louis is at the bottom of the league right now, but they have a +3 run. But hold on, they have a +3 run differential.
Reminds you of the Minnesota Vikings, doesn't it?
Yeah, right.
Oh man, we were.
It reminds you of the Minnesota Vikings, doesn't it? Only in reverse.
Yeah, we were hard on the Minnesota Vikings this past season.
Not as hard as I was. Ryan can tell you, not as hard as I was on the Minnesota Vikings.
It's true. I mean, even your friend Dennis Allen probably had some moments about.
And I mean, I love listening. I love listening to Paul Allen call Vikings games. I love listening to Paul Allen call Vikings games. But I can tell you, this is the first season in listening to PA where I laughed more than I was concerned because of the way he sounded at the end of some of those games, including the miracle against Indianapolis and the season closer in the playoffs against the Giants.
Oh my gosh! I mean, not to change subjects here, but how bad do you feel about Matt Ryan being not only being part of the biggest rally in Super Bowl history, but the biggest rally in NFL history as well?
I don't feel sorry for him at all.
Yeah, he just signed a contract to be paid.
And yes, Cole, we have to talk about
Kirk 2 Chainz.
Shout out to Ben Sutters the third with that.
We like that. We like that.
Yeah.
If you've heard this, if you saw the second hour intro to my show, Ben Sutter, Cole found that clip. And found the clip of 2 Chainz and, of course, Kirk Cousins wearing those chains. And if I see Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins, the first time Cole played that second hour intro for me, I laughed my head off.
Yeah. Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins dancing worse than those girls in the Nerd Focus commercials.
Yeah.
You know what? And I love Nerd Focus, okay? That commercial makes me laugh every time I play it. You know, I love supporting them and them supporting me and me being an affiliate sponsor.
I know.
But that dance, you know who brought that to my attention? Because I didn't even see I just saw that it had.
That was Sick Dicky who brought it up.
That was Victor who brought it to me.
Oh, it was Victor. It was Victor.
That was Victor who brought it to me because Victor brought it to me off the air. And the first thing Victor said to me was, "Where'd you find that commercial?" And just like Dan Quisenberry finding that form and Mariano Rivera finding that cutter, I found him by accident. I did a search when I got the credentials to put the logo on my website with a tracker and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I did a search, and every other commercial I saw did not have any speaking to it. And I'm thinking, I don't want to cut 3 different commercials right now for them, because I don't know what I would insert into it, because I'm just learning about it. And then I found that commercial, and I said, okay, I'm going to use it, and I'm going to wear it out until I get an opportunity to cut the others. Victor, the first time he heard that commercial, he's a
Hi, Cole. We love Cole Johnson.
hello,
Yes.
Cole. And yes, Cole, Vicala brought that to me.
We gotta bring Cole on a Saturday brunch episode sometime.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
For
Victor's
sure.
got to join the Saturday brunch episodes.
Absolutely, Cole and Vicala.
We all, Vic, Cole, and myself,
and Wise too.
and Wise.
too.
We just got to fill up the screen with the parts of the morning crew.
So, circling back to Major League Baseball, the National League, are the Arizona Diamondbacks the biggest surprise in the American League, or National League? Excuse me, or baseball? No.
No.
Okay, why?
San Francisco Giants. That's why.
Well, I mean, Arizona and the Dodgers are tied for first place right now in the West.
For
Yeah.
now.
Are you for now? Okay.
But I do have to agree that as of now, because I expected the Diamondbacks to finish, way
Last.
out of the running for
Yep.
anything. So to me, I think they are. I think they are the biggest surprise in the National
He
League
said
right
for
now.
anything.
But
I love it.
Corbin,
He said for anything.
they do have some talent. They do have some talent. And in the beginning of the year, they were running all over the base paths, and now they've stopped it. It's like, what are you doing? But so I would say they're the biggest surprise, because I did not expect them to do well at all.
You know what? You know who the other surprises are, Dustin? I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
The Pittsburgh Pirates, who we've
Yeah.
lauded on this program,
Love the Pirates.
and the Miami Marlins. They
Who?
have a wild card spot. They hold the last
Who?
wild card spot right now. You heard me.
What?
Now I've said it all along, though. The Marlins, they're finding the ways to win these like 1-run ball games, but they have the pitching.
Thank you, Steve Harvey.
Wait,
have the
perfect
pitching,
question
though.
for the Marlins.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Yes, Chris Face. Love it. Love it.
Oh man.
And the late great
got-
Vince.
got
See,
Sean
there you
Cole.
go. You are so pained by what you see in the desert. You think
Think about Kyler Murray playing Call of Duty.
you almost said Arizona.
Coyotes.
You almost said Arizona Cardinals, and then that prompts me to say,
No.
and in case you didn't hear it,
No.
here I go
Yeah,
with the sound effects
so-
again.
So I will say this, once the Marlins got that stone that was Derek Jeter holding them down, now they're playing baseball.
Oh man.
And
Yeah.
fans around the world will say, "You
I'm
tripped."
gonna catch absolute hell from Wise for saying that.
Like I said, and fans around the world will say to you, "You tripped."
Well, well, Snowman, that's just espresso McCoffee talk.
Oh, I know.
Victor said I needed a Spanish guitar. and I was
Brian, I'm Brian Snow, and I
Bingo.
approve that message.
Well, we're gonna take a quick trip to the comment section before we take our first break. So we got some viewers in the chat. We got our friend Wonko saying 2 more votes against pineapple pizza. Hey guys, 3 more. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you
And no,
very much.
Pineapple does not belong on pizza.
Yes. Let it be
Pineapple
so.
belongs on every dessert you can think of.
Jeff says exciting finals game last night. Heat, the team of destiny, hopes are still alive. Well, We'll see.
Yeah, but I want to talk about that a little bit.
He pushed that button.
Hey, Fizzle, he pushed that button. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Our buddy Kevin Wilson, who joined us last week from Belly Up Fantasy Sports, he says, not if the Rangers keep scoring runs and get the pitching they have. They aren't going away. He also adds, John Gray has been excellent, as has Nathan Eovaldi.
Yeah, all I see for the Rangers.
Is that from Wheel of Fortune?
Yes, it is.
The bank.
Yes, it is.
Jeff also says my Jays just went and swept the Mets three
times.
345
million payroll,
which means they beat $1 billion in players over 3 games. Good Lord.
I mean, this is my fate for the Mets.
Wonko says these Mariners losing scores like the Iowa Hawkeyes football team lately. 16-6, 12-3, 10-2, 11-6.
That's who would have expected that.
Who would have expected that? But I don't expect the Rangers to keep this up. Not to be that guy, Dustin, but Berrios is in his second best 10-game run of his entire career right now. Yeah, my response is the following.
Yeah, see that's the thing. I can't buy it right now. I know Manoah has been a big letdown so far, but
Manoah has just gotten lucky. All right, that's Manoah has just gotten lucky. And I know I'm going to catch all kinds of hell for that statement, but unlike a few people we've talked about before, we actually watch baseball and pay attention.
So Wonko says my Denver in 4 NBA call turned into the pineapple pizza predictions game 2. I said the Nuggets in 5.
In the final 12 minutes, it turned into that pineapple pizza.
Yeah. Cole says my former manager is grinning from ear to ear. She's a diehard Pirates fan.
Which means
here we go.
Which means Greg Brown is going nuts.
Cole says, wait a minute, a Yankees fan downing Derek Jeter? Wow.
That's terrible.
Cole, who's also an Astros fan, he says the Rangers will fold after the All-Star break. He says the Mets are now saying, get your pet spade and and Brian the dog's response is, oh, just die already, old man. Well, we're gonna take a Go ahead. Snowman. I'll let you. No,
go to break. I'll do a commercial break.
We'll be right back. Right after this, you're watching and listening to No Credentials Required. This episode of No Credentials Required is brought to you by Invader Coffee. For the coffee lover who wants good, quality coffee with no bullshit and no filler, Invader Coffee is an ultra-premium, veteran-owned coffee company proudly delivering only the best coffee your hard-earned money can buy. They aim to only serve the highest quality, organic, air-roasted coffee beans sourced from free trade farms all over the world. They keep things simple. The best coffee at an affordable price in order to provide you with the value you deserve for your morning boost. 100% fair trade, 100% organic coffee beans, 100% air-roasted, 100% money-back guarantee. Visit invadercoffee.com, enter promo code BELLYUP at checkout, and receive 15% off your order. That's right, folks.
Can I have that ad?
Sure.
Please.
Sure, I'll let you borrow it.
I'll add my voice to it and use a little bit different music and different code and everything. But
I got yeah. I mean, you can have the. We'll have to do is get the. I'll have to remove my voice because the belly up has a belly up.
Right.
Code at the end.
Right.
But anyway, folks, link in the description for our affiliate link for Invader Coffee, the best coffee you will ever drink. Dustin and I are big Invader Coffee fans. Right now, they have and Brian Snow is also an affiliate sponsor with Invader Coffee. They're having a contest right now. You buy the Outsider blend, which is a dark roast blend. You are automatically entered into a contest where you can get yourself a muscle car. And I've been wrong over the last couple months in regards to what kind of car it is. It's actually a Chevrolet Chevette SS, not a Chevelle. I was wrong about that, so may I culpa.
See, I can't drive a Chevette, and I have a very good reason. I stand 6 feet 5 inches tall.
Oh, that's a big reason. But
I mean,
you know what? Well, you know what, Snowman? If Dustin or I win that car, we'll drive up to Indiana. We'll take you for a ride.
You really want me to go into that thing?
Maybe.
I got to share this story. When I first met Jody,
let me finish up. Let me just finish this up real quick.
Go ahead.
So
Go
Coffee, get yourself some great coffee. As link in the description, both on the podcast side and on both YouTube and Facebook. Get yourself some great coffee.
Yes,
affordable price, the best coffee your money can buy. Made by its veteran-owned coffee company, veteran-owned. Support your local veteran-owned coffee company. And visit Invader Coffee. Get yourself some good coffee. Enjoy some great coffee, and just and support the show. Support the show. So, Brian, you got a story for me.
When I met Jody, she drove up to Michigan City from Terre Haute, and she said, "Look for a little pink car." I peeked out the door, and there was a little pink car. It's a Mitsubishi Mirage. And I walk out, and we're getting ready to go out, and I said, "Baby, I got one question." She says, "What's that?" "How the hell am I going to get in this thing?" Her response was legendary when she said, "We're just going to have to origami you in this." I helped drive that thing for 2 years. And every part of me hurt because of it.
Hopefully you didn't take any long road trips in that thing.
You know what? It reminds me of the Simpsons episode where they did the Pulp Fiction episode. The really
yes.
tall man in this very small car.
I didn't.
And he pants Nelson Munson, made him walk down the street.
Yes.
Everybody in Springfield could laugh at him.
Dustin said he hoped we didn't take any long trips in that thing. Well, Dustin, I got news for you. We drove from Indiana to North Carolina several times.
Oh, jeez.
We made a 1,200 mile trek to and from North Carolina 4 different times before we wound up getting the car that we have now, which provides a little more leg room. And funny thing is, when we purchased that car down in North Carolina, Jody just looked at the salesman who stood 6'7", and he said, he said, "What can I do for you folks?" And he's looking at me, and we're already laughing. Yeah. And Jody says, "Well, we got to find something for Daddy Longlegs over here," and she points at me. So, singing Little Pink
Wow. Cole breaking out he's breaking out the Prince.
Little Pink, instead of Little Red Corvette, it's Little Pink Mirage.
Baby, you're much too
small. That's very. This is the ab singing, as Playmaker points out very well.
Yeah, my voice is not as good as.
I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try to sing that. But Cole's the only one that can work Little Red Corvette into that.
I can carry it too. That's why I told someone at church a couple of years ago. They asked me if I wanted to be part of the Christmas choir. I said I can carry a tune, but I can't carry it that far.
I will never forget the story that Ryan told me.
I know which one it is.
Yes, the Ryan told me a story on the morning show where he had a bone to pick with me and Cole, and I'm already laughing. And I said, "Okay, what happened?" And he's telling me he was setting up the slides. And all I got to say is, every time he heard the word "king" come up in the slides, and I lost it.
I got it. I got it ready.
You got it? Okay, let's hear it.
Ready. All right, hang on.
Let's hear it.
Uh-oh.
Nope.
No volume.
What?
There it is.
So this weekend I was on a retreat of my own, not a darkness retreat, a church. So we were in, I set up, I was doing arrangements
start,
for the.
Did you start laughing?
Hold on. I'm getting to it.
Okay.
So every time I was doing the arrangements for our worship set, because I was doing the slides for the songs, and every time I saw the word "king" appear in song, in the back of my head, I heard Cole. No, sorry, not Cole. Ray say "Kang." I started chuckling. I was like, Percy, Cole, and Snowman.
That's a classic Seinfeld Pez dispenser moment,
Wait till
And
Dustin sees the
and
I
Cole
love
says,
the
"I
Aaron
love the Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers
slander. Wait till Dustin sees the commercial Victor came up with. That should be up there too.
Oh, Hooked on Bronix?
Yes.
Oh,
That one.
I did see that.
Yeah, Dustin saw it this morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you did see it. Okay.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Victor texted that to me, and I said, "Oh no, I have to send this to Cole." By Monday, Victor put it in the chat. Both of us read it aloud. Cole first hour, me second hour, and by Wednesday it was visualized.
The genius that is Cole Johnson.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
aka Brimstone Johnson.
AKA the mad scientist. Thank you, Chris Bass, for that.
So we're gonna move on to actually Wonko the Sane sympathizes with the Snowman. He says, "I'm only 6'2" and I fit exactly in my Toyota Solara with the seat all the way back, even tighter in gym shoes rather than flats." So
I wear a size 15. Does that tell you anything?
Man,
I wear a 15. I am 6'5" and 245 pounds. And to think I was heavier than this once upon a time before my surgery. I go through hell trying to find clothes, shoes, and a car.
Yeah. The most basic things,
I have brothers who are also above 6 foot. I've got one who's 6'3" and one who's 6'6", though. They get you. I don't though. I'm only 5'11".
I'm a
You're about
challenge.
Look, that ain't normal. You're about there, okay? You're about there.
True. Although my license says 6 foot. All right. So NBA Finals. We're gonna talk about NBA Finals. All square at one apiece. I caught a little bit of each game, and with Denver blowing the doors off the Heat in Game 1, all the way up to the fourth quarter. All the way up to the fourth quarter, I kind of had a sense that something was building in terms of something that the Heat were going to come back in Game 2 and win that game. Try to steal a game in Denver. Denver has been a pretty solid team at home, but they're a better team. They've been a better team on the road.
Yeah.
And the quirky thing of it is, every time Nikola Jokic has scored 40 or more points in the playoffs this year, the Denver Nuggets have lost all 3 games.
Yeah.
So, Dustin, if you've watched any of the series, what's been your impression so far? And just give me some heads up as to what your thoughts are in the series.
Well, I had said on last week's show, that I think Miami, most of us on our panel had said, I think that Miami could steal a game, and they did. And they did. But I think
that fourth quarter told the story.
Yeah. And you got to give it to the Heat. They've been playing scrappy. They've established, they play good team basketball there. But I have to say, I still think it's going to be Denver in 5. And I think it's partially, and I know what the coach was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to admit, when I saw the press conference, I saw the head coach Denver. His name is escaping me right now.
Mike Malone.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Mike Malone. He sat there and he said, "I told you after Game 1 we didn't play well." Mm-hmm. And he said, I told you something was brewing, and you all thought I was crazy. And he said, Game 2. We played with a lack of effort, a lack of passion. He said that players were turning switches on and off as if it was the preseason and the regular season. And if I'm Nikola Jokic and I scored 41 points and 12 rebounds, I would almost want to go to that coach and say, you want to question my effort? You want to question, I know what he was trying to do, but in my opinion, I think he went in a little too hard.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I mean,
he definitely Daryl Suttered the Nuggets there. I mean, he definitely tried to do what a hockey coach would do and call out his players publicly and just say that effort sucked. We got to do better if we want to win this title.
But it's gonna work. It had the effect, but I would just like, man, you're telling them they're playing like they were in the preseason game. It's not like they got blown out. And the Heat sunk 17 threes. Is that?
But at the same time, you don't blow a 15-point lead on your home floor in the World Championship.
And you sure as heck don't allow 36 points to your opponent
in the fourth quarter
and now let them outscore you by 11 points.
And that was the difference. So I hope Denver carries this message to Miami on Wednesday.
You know what? That makes me mad.
And I hope they play that way on Wednesday and Friday.
Drippy dog.
And I think they will. I think they will, but I just, rebounds are the mark of effort, in my opinion, in the NBA. And when your star gets 12 of them, and then the coach comes out and says the whole team's effort sucked. I mean, I was just kind of like, wow, it's motivation, but and I think it is going to work, but and the Heat are not going to make 17 threes again. So it's not going to
The Heat made 17 threes.
But
that's like our running joke every Monday morning with Jay Spivey on what black men are talking baseball.
or with me when we talk when they say, "Hey, black people talking hockey."
Wait a minute, and that occurred by accident because Ryan made the joke. I played the sound. I got a couple of phone calls after the show. They said, "You're actually talking hockey?" Yes, been a fan since 1985. Thank you very much. Victor's laughing at this stuff, and they said, "Do they not know who they're messing with?" No, they don't.
They don't.
Like, do they not know who has the best morning sports talk show? No, they don't, because they pay attention to these big stations, and they speaking the truth and shame the devil. They don't talk about anything.
Speaking of which,
today's
NBA fan desperately wants this to be on NBA TV because the Celtics and they Kang ain't in it. True.
No.
Absolutely true.
It is true. It is. It's. Thank you, Kurt Angle, for this. It's damn true. It's damn true. Come on.
And here's the thing: Game 3 is not until Wednesday.
Well, you know what narratives are going to come out before Wednesday. Come on, they're going to Miami.
Ugh.
They're going to Miami for Wednesday and Friday, and I hope Denver does this to them and makes them feel like this. The same way the Spurs did in 2014.
Here's my question to you, both of you guys. And Dustin, I'm going to have you talk first. So, was this just a masterful coaching job by Eric Spoelstra? Because we mentioned it last week. We talked about Spoelstra last week and how he can match up, how he has the tendency to match up so well. And he's probably the best coach of this current era. I mean, outside of Steve Kerr, I know, but Snowman, you'll contend with me on that and with Steve Kerr. But Eric Spoelstra, he's 6 finals appearances with the Miami Heat. He just knows how to match things up. I mean, do you agree with that? Do you agree with that, especially what happened last night in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I would agree. Now, as you both have pointed out, Denver did give a little bit of an assist here, but you cannot discount the coaching IQ of Eric Spoelstra. He's been around that team a long time, and correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, but I think the narrative on him when he was first hired as coach of the Heat, it's like, he's been in the organization. He was in their video department, but he's just going to, the stars, Dwayne Wade's going to be able to tell him what to do. LeBron James, they're just going to tell him what to do. He's got these great players. He's going to figure it out.
And Pat Riley put all that to rest.
Yep. Yes, he did.
In New York, born Pat Riley.
Yes.
Eric 5'8".
Eric Spoelstra.
And Pat Riley did this to all those narratives.
Yep.
You're having too much fun, Snowman. Stop it.
He supported him. But also I would say Spoelstra has proven he can coach any type of player. He can figure out any type of scheme. He can make adjustments. His basketball IQ, I would agree with you. I used to think that Rick Carlisle was one of the best coaches going when he was coaching. And I'm a little biased because I was a Mavs fan. I loved Coach Carlisle. He was one of those, old school type coaches for me. But Eric Spoelstra can match up with any coach right now. Any coach.
And Eric Spoelstra basically told the Denver Nuggets,
nothing for you.
Yeah.
The 36-point fourth quarter.
Well, I mean, you talked about it, Snowman. You're sitting at the feet of the master, who is Pat Riley, who coached the Lakers to titles, who coached the Miami Heat for so long.
Yep, he coached the Miami Heat to their first title in 2006.
Yeah, and you see at the feet of Pat Riley, you get the opportunity to have that learning tree of all that experience that Pat Riley's had. And he gets to model that team, and Spoelstra is just pulling the strings because he just needs to find a way. He's playing chess. He's playing chess.
He is, and
he's done it kind of under the radar the last few years, if you could believe that.
Because everyone expected Miami to just fall down and not get back up.
Yep.
They expected Miami to fall down and not get back up and start crying.
Woe is me.
And expect to sign a big time player. And when they signed Jimmy Butler, wait a minute.
Didn't they trade for Jimmy Butler?
They traded.
Yeah, from the Bulls.
They traded for Jimmy Butler, and everybody in Miami is going, what? And now they see what his worth is, and they're still saying, what?
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah, and
Jimmy Butler figured it out in game 2. Now 3, 4, and 5 are going to be the question, because you got to do it twice in Miami and you have to do it in Denver. You have to do it another time. You have to do it another time in Denver. That's where I question where this series goes.
Yeah, it's a 2-2-1-1-1, which is usually how hockey goes, but the NBA Finals are following that model. So we'll see what happens.
What the hell's going on out here?
Thanks, Vince. But it's gonna be an interesting series.
It is.
I'm actually gonna watch tomorrow night and try to figure out. I don't watch much basketball. Like, we don't really cover it on this program, but now that the finals are here, might as well cover it and talk about it a little bit. And gotta jump in. Cole says Spoelstra knows basketball. He's a master strategist, and he also knows how to put the right pieces in place. He also says, I agree, Snowman, the Heat need to win one more in Denver. That will be a tough task.
The Heat need to do to Denver what they did to Boston, and that's win 3 of them on the road. That is a tall task. That's a tall favor to ask.
Yeah.
And Denver is going to tell them,
you tripping
if you think you're going to steal another one in Denver. And yes, I'm having too much fun with these sounds, but I can't help it. See, today's NBA fan wants Cole. This one's for you. Today's NBA fan wants this series on NBA TV, since the Celtics, and I won't even repeat the rest of it, are not in it. They want to tell everybody.
Okay.
They want to tell them
You're despicable.
But I mean, to me, it's entertaining. It's got star power, because I mean, Jimmy Butler's a star. He's turned his narrative around. He had a reputation as a bad teammate. He had everything kind of going sideways, and people wrote the book on him, and he's changed the story, that's for sure. And then you got Nikola Jokic, who at one point didn't even think he would play in the NBA, and he was a
2nd round draft pick.
Yeah.
He was a
become
second
one of
round
the
draft. And
best.
remember, Denver also drafted Yusuf Nurkic. They also drafted Yusuf Nurkic, but then they shipped Nurkic to Portland and they kept Jokic. And well, the 3-time MVP. I don't acknowledge Joel Embiid as the MVP this season because it was all Nikola Jokic's to lose. And while we're talking about Joel Embiid very, very briefly and him getting the MVP, my only question is,
who in the blue hell are you?
Your SAWFT soft. But since Wise has appeared in the chat, we have to. And we talked about Boston. We have to play the PSA.
Play it.
The following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
I love it.
It's a good one.
Do it again.
All right, one more time. One more time.
The following is a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
Boston.
This has been a public service announcement from Wise El Jefe.
That does my heart good.
I think it does all of us good.
That does my heart much, much good. That's for you, Wise.
Thanks, Wise. We're gonna have one more commercial break before we talk about the Stanley Cup Final, which is actually going on right now. Game 2 is going on right now. But first, we got to talk about our boys at Mahler Brothers Golf. We all want to look good in the golf course, but when it comes at the expense of feeling good, Mahler Brothers Golf has polos that look good and feel good. They're lightweight and stretchy material that hugs your body. You'll feel cool while looking just as cool. Their polos are guaranteed to make you look better, but it's up to you to golf better. On a hot summer day in the golf course, there's no polo that you'd rather wear than Mahler Brothers Golf signature polos. Mahler Brothers Golf has a large catalog of polos with designs for those who want a loud design and others for the who want a more subtle and sleek looking design. They also have fun t-shirts, hats, tumblers, and so much more to make your golfing experience better. Now, I had to order myself a Mahler Brothers t-shirt the other day. I was a little too adventurous with the sizing, and when I put it on, it was a little bit snug. Josh reached out to me, said, "Hey, I saw you ordered a shirt. How's the shirt fitting?" I said, "Well, it's kind of tight, and I think I need to return it." He says, "Okay, here's a shipping label. We'll get you a new shirt right away." So as soon as I ship that shirt out, I'm gonna get myself a new shirt, a little bit larger, so I can go on the golf course and feel cool and look great and play great. Well, I'll try to play great. So go to MahlerBros.com. And again, you're going to use promo code BELLYUP at checkout for 15% off your order. Get yourself some, whether or not you play golf, that's up to you. But if you want to look good, you want to feel good this summer, MahlerBros.com. You use promo code BELLYUP at checkout for 15% off your order. Gentlemen, Stanley Cup Final, Golden Knights take game 1. It's currently 2-0 at the end of 1, with the Vegas Golden Knights up 2-0 after the first period in game 2. Dustin, Snowman, your impressions after game 1? Is this going to be? I'm praying against a sweep. I'm praying against a sweep. And I know, Snowman, you said in your program that it's going to go 7 and it's going to go home. Home team's going to win every single game. I predicted the Panthers in 6. I think, Dustin, you said the Golden Knights in 7 as well. I don't know if you got a chance to catch game 1. Unfortunately, I did not because I don't have TNT. So, but
I did. I caught it. And
so, yeah,
Vegas in 7.
Stay off the weed.
They keep playing like this. It's over in 4. I mean, Florida looked totally outmatched in that third period.
Yeah, that's where the wheels
on Saturday.
That's where the wheels fell off. Yeah,
they looked totally outmatched in that third period, and after what I just saw in the first period of game 2, they look totally outmatched now. The thing that got the Panthers to the Stanley Cup Final was their goaltending. And right now, their goaltender is getting peppered.
Yeah,
he got peppered with 15 shots in the third period in game 3. 15 in the third period.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's I got to give credit to I think both Kevin Wilson and Real Captain Lou. They mentioned that was Vegas's game plan. They love to go out there and pepper them with shots last week, And they did that in the third period. And in the first two periods, I'm thinking, okay, this is 2-2. These teams seem pretty evenly matched. I saw the Vegas goaltender make one of the best saves I've ever seen with it looked like Florida was going to score on that one-timer, and the Vegas goaltender, he got his stick out there. He managed to block it with just the paddle of the stick. It was amazing. I thought it was in the net.
I thought it was too.
Then Vegas just came out and started hitting from every angle.
They were snipers.
Mm-hmm.
They were absolute snipers. And I'll say it again, and most people don't believe in this stat, but if you're in the Stanley Cup final and you allow 15 shots in 20 minutes, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. A black man's talking hockey? Play it! Play it down!
Do it again.
Wait a minute. A black man's talking hockey?
Let me add a word. A black man talking competent hockey? That's what happened to Florida in that third period. I'm not supposed to know what a shot on goal is, and yet I saw Florida get hit with 15 of them in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and one of those goals was a really bad turnover by Matthew Tkachuk, who is supposed to be who's supposedly going to be an impact player, but I guess in game one he wasn't.
He disappeared.
He disappeared, and he's only got one shot in the first period after in game two. So I'm praying against the sweep. I'm praying that
what I'm praying is that this don't turn out like Boston.
I want a competitive series. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I'm praying this series doesn't turn out like Boston, where Vegas gets out to a huge lead and have a chance to put it away, and then all hell breaks loose. I do not want that.
Hold up. A black man having the nerve to talk about a what? Never mind. Brimstone Johnson strikes again.
And of course, that's one of our favorite running jokes on the morning show.
Oh man, when he gets rolling, he's unstoppable. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, man.
I mean, his rant last Wednesday was just not much juiced. So good.
I will say though, Ryan, I think Florida is going to battle back a little bit. Vegas, I mean, they were who I picked to win it. But the thing is, Florida has been counted out since the beginning of the playoffs, and they've proven people wrong at each stop. And I did notice in game one, Tkachuk had a what I thought was going to be a goal, and it went off the post. And you got to wonder if it's one of those momentum things, not to go all John Sterling on you, but if that shot goes in, that, but it could be a different outcome. That's my dad. Shout out to my dad for the second straight week. He hated
best Susan Waldman. Well, John.
My dad always we would be listening to games on the radio when I was a kid, and my dad would get so angry when John Sterling would say, now Susan, if he catches that ball, and my dad would cut it off. He'd be like, he didn't, so it doesn't matter, My dad.
Fun fact about Susan Waldman.
Yeah.
She was the national anthem singer on June 17th, 1994.
What?
Oh man, I will not be tuned in.
Before Game 5 of the NBA Finals, and O.J. Simpson's run in the Ford Bronco.
Oh boy! Oh man!
The national anthem singer for the Knicks versus Hornets. Knicks versus Rockets Game 5 was Susan Waldman.
Wow!
What? No. What?
I've noticed.
Watch the document. Watch the 30 for 30.
The 30 for 30?
17th, 1994.
All right.
Next year will be the 30th anniversary.
I'll rewatch.
Oh God, we're old.
I know, but Ryan, I want to, as a man who follows hockey, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. You have more knowledge than I do. Do you think Florida can battle back from this?
I think they can. I think once the series goes back, let's see what happens the next two periods tonight. If it continues,
If it winds up 6-0 Vegas like it was against Dallas, this series is over. I'm sorry. Listen, I know the best part is when a road team steals a game. If Vegas wins tonight, and that's a big if Vegas wins tonight as dominant as they were in period 1, and then they're just as dominant in game 3, but the rest of tonight's going to tell the story, and of course, game 3 in Florida is going to tell the story also.
Wonko says baseball on ice is the pineapple pizza of pro sports. Still love you 3 anyway. Adding up points for winning fights though? Nah, not really.
No.
And both Vegas and Florida are ice pirates stealing Canadian glory. You stop that talk right now, Wonko, or you're banned.
Where's Wonko? Wait a minute. Where's Wonko from?
I think he's in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I believe so. Wonko, correct us if you're wrong, but since you're always talking about the Reds, I think Cincinnati's a safe bet.
God. Cole says, I still want to beat down NBC for putting that game on the small screen, that hideous white Bronco driving down a freeway on the larger screen.
Yeah, yep. I saw that. 30 minutes.
Come on.
I remember that.
30 and a half minutes we'll never get back.
I remember that.
God.
It was a great selling Bronco, Cole, at least for 2 people. One of them was OJ, and then the other one was AC. They both got them.
Dear.
And to think the Bronco thing brought the Bronco back.
I just found that.
And they brought the Bronco back.
They did.
And it looks ugly. It's like a 4Runner and a Jeep had wild, passionate socks one night, and 9 months later came the Bronco.
This show has taken some. It has taken some
This show's gone off the rails.
Yeah, but I like it.
I need that train.
I will send it to you.
Thank you.
I will send it to you.
Oh,
I will make sure I get that to you.
I forgot to add in our NBA.
Wait a minute. Speaking of off the, this is it in its place of off the rails.
Joker. You got 3 Jokers right here in this panel.
Yeah.
I forgot to add in our NBA segment about I need to talk about a certain former.
No, you don't.
Soon to be former Dallas Maverick.
No, you don't.
Yes, I will.
No, you don't.
Oh, yes, I will.
No, you don't.
Don't make me push that button, Snowman.
Don't make me push this button.
John Tesh, man.
Gotta love the John Tesh.
He hung that into his answering machine.
Wonko says Tacoma, Washington.
Tacoma, Washington.
Oh,
Did Danger Russ ruin that Cincinnati since 2005, though? Hat tip.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Cole says, I was like, why am I hearing Tom Brokaw talking over my game? Old John going down the freeway with AC towing a white Ford Bronco to his neighborhood.
Tom Brokaw ruined it for me.
So anyway, Kyrita Herbal Tea.
Kyrita Pinkett Smith.
Last week said, stop speculating on where I'm going to go. I'm a free agent next year. Stop speculating on where you want to go. Now he's recruiting a certain Kang, who he says, hey, come down here and what?
They're coming to take over.
So Dustin, I just want to say, you may want to switch teams this season.
That's all I can stand. I can't stand no more.
He stole this smile. I'm saying it right now. I still say it. He stole the smile.
Stole a smile off of Luka Doncic's face.
Yeah.
That's all I can stand. I can't stand no more.
And I'm saying there is no way. There is no way. And I say this as a fan of the team. There is no way that LBJ goes to Dallas. No
He
way.
can't. You still got a year under. He's got what? One more year with the Lakers or something like that.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
mean, it's always been, and I'm not taking this as a shot against my Mavericks.
But
Yes, you
guess
are.
who's firing shots? Please do
Please
it.
do
I
it. I want to see Kyrie wreck yet another.
Please bring Yo Kang to Dallas.
Yeah,
Oh,
Isn't he a Cowboys fan?
it's not going to happen though. It's not. Dallas never gets the big free agents. I've ranted about it on the show before. There was a big deal when Dallas signed Eric Dampier. No offense, Mr. Dampier, but I mean, come on.
Out of Mississippi State.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is my response, and I'll echo what Dustin wants to say.
Yeah. Love that music.
Cole says Siri says it's not going to
That's
happen.
not
Dallas does
happening.
not have enough cameras and media outlets.
Yeah.
Because they're all at Jaraz World.
That would ruin.
Yeah.
That would ruin Ben Sutter, wouldn't it?
Oh my gosh, I think Ben would die of
I think
embarrassment.
I think Ben would die a very slow, painful death.
I gotta get Ben in the show.
We have to get Ben on now.
We gotta get Ben on.
We have to get Ben. The Metroplex report on Fridays on my show would take a nosedive.
Oh man, it will be a disaster.
Although I would love the train wreck. I would love the First Russell Westbrook and then Kyrie to herbal tea. What the hell?
Oh man.
People were thinking Kyrie was that free agent. And Cole, you ain't the only one that laughed yourself silly.
Yeah, he's
not that guy.
No.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap things up in just a moment. First, we're gonna give Snowman the floor. Snowman, tell the people where they can find you, your shows, all that stuff.
YouTube.com/Snowman Multimedia is where you can find all my shows. Of course, Snowman in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, the Brian Snow Show, 2 p.m. Eastern, and maybe some play-by-plays will be mixed in as well. Again, go to youtube.com/@Snowman Multimedia. Said it wrong the first time. I'll say it right now. youtube.com/@Snowman Multimedia. I've had a blast hanging with you guys. Thank you all very much for the support. Go subscribe to the channel. Trying to get to the magic 1,000. So this disabled broadcaster, or this broadcaster who's been declared disabled, can get back into making a living doing what I love to do.
That's right. And guess what? And also, show announcement, FYI, on Wednesday, June 21st and Thursday, June 22nd, I will be guest hosting for Brian Snow on the Brian Snow Show at 2 p.m. Eastern on Snowman Multimedia and Shady Sports Network, and also CSTV.
Because I will be on vacation.
Well-deserved vacation.
I am taking a long-awaited, well-deserved vacation. My wife and I are. And part of that's going to be spent in my hometown.
Awesome.
Yeah, always need time to recharge the batteries because
Yes.
you are a hard-working man, sir.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
And before we go, Cole says, no credentials required, crew. I'm going to give you guys a gift very soon. All right.
Oh, man.
I cannot wait.
The production has reached no credentials required. Oh, man.
Awesome. Well, before we go, we just need to remind you about our social media channels, which are right down here below. Twitter, Instagram, and the scarcely used TikTok. It's at NoCredsREQ. Facebook.com/NoCredsREQ. YouTube.com/@NoCredsREQ. If you're watching on the replay or if you're watching live, smash that like button. And also, on the podcast side, on audio, subscribe to the podcast on a myriad of podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Play, wherever you podcast, rate and review. 5-star rating is preferred. If you would leave a review, we might even read it on the air. So, for my co-host Dustin, my name is Ryan. You have been listening or watching No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We are always presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Godzilla Media. We'll be back here next Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern with more sports talk. And until then, talk to you later.
All right. Good night, everybody.